you all, good folk. Welcome to Sherwood Forest. This is a place of lore and legends. A place where the most famous characters of all time have came to call home. Characters of strength, characters of virtue, and characters such as Robin Hood and his merry men.
Oh, merryman, merryman, my heart is filled with grief, and it weighs heavy upon my soul. You gaze upon one whose brightest light has been snuffed by the dark blankets of gloom. There is nothing left for me now but sorrow and despair. Play the jack. Stands before you now a man who suffers from the anguish of unrequited love. There is no way to describe my agony, merry man, except to say, I have the boo-boos.
Oh no, not the boo-boos!
Yes, I know you're shocked. I realize great characters of literature rarely get the boo-boos, but I have them today. My one and only love, Lady Mary, is lost to me forever. What to do? What to do?
Well, first you can start off by telling the good people who the sheriff and the prince are.
Yes, I suppose I could. Gentlefolk, our beloved England was once ruled by a great sovereign, King Richard the Lionhearted.
Long live the king!
A courageous king left us to fight in the Crusades, but in his absence, we have been ruled by his rocky, sinister, and not at all nice brother, the evil Prince John.
Boo hiss! Boo hiss!
You see, Prince John wants to be crowned king, and since King Richard has been gone for more than 2 years, law decrees that Prince John may take the crown if he is elected by another member of the royal family.
But Robin, isn't the only other royal the fair Lady Mary? She loves the prince severely and would never dream of letting him become prince. She wishes upon these skid rashes.
Ew! True, Friar, but acting as ruler, the evil Prince John,
Boo hiss! Boo hiss!
I give dear Mary's hand in marriage to the suitor of his choice. And his choice is the Sheriff of Nottingham. And, as we all know, the Sheriff is, well, he's a worm! The man's a worm! A slimy, slithering little worm! All you want to do is squash him flat with your foot and scrape him off your shoe. Anyways, once he marries Mary, he will instantly become royalty, thus allowing Prince John to become king. And from that day forward, I don't know what to do. The prince's greed knows no limits. Why, he isn't even king yet, and he's always raised taxes sky high.
No!
Close schools and orphanages.
No!
And most despicable of all, he stopped the sale of Girl Scout cookies.
Oh no! Not that!
Even the chocolate thin mints, my son?
Yes, Friar, even those.
I'll say, I can see banishing lemon creams, because hey, who buys them anyway? But Thin Mints, why, I wouldn't even rebel against that. Who are you? Me? I'm the town's guy.
I see. And what exactly is it that you do?
Well, I hang around the town, hence the name Town's Guy. This isn't rocket science here.
How productive. Then may I ask, what are you doing here? If you haven't noticed, this is the forest.
Well, yes. I just thought I'd hang around and help you tell the story.
Well, that's very nice, but to be honest with you, we don't need your help. Please leave.
Well, fine. I was going to set you in the scene when you first met Lady Mary, but you don't need me. Introduce your own flashback.
Flashback?
Oh, Robin, you know how much the men do love a good flashback.
Flashback! Flashback! Flashback!
You know that's really getting on my nerves! But you must have a flashback. Get on with it.
Fine, I'll do it. But when this flashbacks forward again, I'm out of here. Mr. Technical Director, good day to you, sir. Some flashback atmosphere, please.
Flashback! Flashback! Flashback!
Stop that!
Now you see, Robin Hood stole from the rich and gave to the poor. Now we all know what's wrong with this deal, but it was Prince John who had stolen the good people of England's money first. The money that Robin Hood would steal to buy food and clothes for the starving people. This was the only way the poor people would survive. And even though I think Robin Hood is one outlaw with an anti-problem, he is the champion of those less fortunate. And on this day I take you to now, Robin Hood came across one of the most richest and most famous people in the land.
I can't believe
believe our carriage is stuck in the mud. I'm sorry to make you carry that chest, Marion, my dear, but with the recent series of robberies, I thought it best not to leave it where it may encounter unwanted hands. But fear not, I shall find our way out of this dark and creepy forest.
I think it's quite a warm and friendly place.
Halt! Your treasures to me, please.
I do say, we're being mugged. How warm and friendly.
Well, at least he said please. I do think that counts for something.
Thank you, my lady.
Marion, I do believe we're in the company of the notorious outlaw Robin Hood.
In the flesh.
And you alone plan on ridding me of my riches?
You seem to be outnumbered, good sir.
Why, sure. This must be Robin Hood's band of married men.
That's merriment, my dear lady. And I can quite assure you, we are all quite single gentlemen.
Well, I haven't even got myself a girlfriend.
And what a shock it is.
And without further ado, your treasures, please.
And with that, Robin snatched the bag of gold from the sheriff.
Aha!
And then he grabbed Marion's chest. The one she is carrying in her hand that contains the jewels.
Thank you.
Of course. Next time, I'm carrying the pouch.
You won't get away with this, you scoundrel. That gold belongs to none other than His Royal Highness.
Do you speak of the evil Prince John?
Boo hiss! Boo hiss!
That is your opinion? Yes, it is his gold you brought.
Then it is with all the more pleasure that I lighten your load of this tarnished gold.
Hasn't anyone ever taught you that stealing is wrong?
I don't consider this stealing, my dear lady. I am merely returning it to those from whom it was stolen. You see, from sheer greed like one from the prince and sheriff, people young and old are starving. Children cry at night frightened, cold and hungry. This gold will help feed them, clothe them, and help ease their pain.
Sheriff, does Robin Hood speak the truth?
Marion, someday you will realize that good money is wasted on the poor.
Oh, you gross little fever blister! Oh, I loathe and despise you! Sir, forgive me. I knew not of the vast suffering of my country, but rest assured, upon my return to the kingdom, I shall tell the king of these terrible deeds. This I promise you with all my heart.
Marion, do you realize what you're saying is treason against His Highness the Prince?
It is not I who have committed treason! Do not keep the poor waiting any longer, gallant fugitive. But before you go, I have one more treasure for your coffers. My mother gave me this ring before she died. It will serve her memory well if you use it in your just and noble cause.
And it was at that moment that Robin and Marion fell in love.
Go now. Don't keep those in need waiting a moment longer.
You are the most gracious lady in all the land, and I promise we shall meet again.
I most certainly hope so.
Men, it is time to set forth on our mission. Would you like to join me in my quest to aid the needy men of Sherwood?
Sherwood!
Very well then. Scatter!
Marion, I am appalled at your actions. How could you betray His Highness the King in this manner? Do you not realize that Robin Hood is England's archenemy?
No, it is you and the prince who are arch enemies of England. Your time is not long here, Sheriff. The king will hear of your deeds.
And, dear girl, the prince shall hear of yours.
And that's how it all happened. When Marion the sheriff returned to the kingdom, Marion made good with her promise. She tried to reach King Richard, but to no avail. Meanwhile, the evil Prince John was not at all pleased with the recent turn of events. When he learned of Marion's allegiance to Robin Hood, he was swift to engage her to the Sheriff of Nottingham, thus securing his position. And so, this brings us out of the flashback and back into present time. And so, friends, it seems I'm finished here. I'm going back to town, where I'm appreciated. Hope we meet each other again. Farewell.
to do? What to do? What to do, Friar?
My son, why don't I go to the kingdom? Perhaps an answer to our problems lies there.
Yes, Friar. Be swift. Be swift on your journey and bring me news of my dear Lady Marian.
Yes, my son.
Men, we must devise a plan to save Lady Marian before she is forced to wed the Sheriff of Nottingham. Any suggestions, oh quick and clever colleagues?
Why don't we take our trusty spoons and tunnel into the castle?
Yeah! How do you propose we do this without the prince and the guards seeing us?
Yeah. We tunnel from here! Yeah!
The castle is 70 miles away. By the time we get there, they'll have invented bulldozers.
Yeah. It was just a thought.
Any other stupid suggestions?
Yes, I have one.
Then speak, O Claude.
Why don't we stage a fake fire drill, and when they all run out, we all run in?
No way, Mariette. Let's knock on the door and tell them we're selling Amway.
Oh yeah, right. Who's gonna let in an Amway salesman?
What's better than your stupid tunnel idea?
It's not. It's too. It's not. It's too.
Behold what happens when you drop out of school. Enough!
Excuse me. I don't mean to be a bother, but it seems like you're having some difficulty getting out of the scene. Might I be of some assistance?
Please!
Oh, my pleasure. While Robin and the merry men devised the perfect plan to rescue Lady Marian, the sheriff and prince had devised a plan of their own. Mr. Technical Director, sweep us to another place in this fair land. You see, the sheriff took care of the situation with Lady Marian, but he still had the problem with Robin Hood. Now, if you thought the sheriff was one nasty fellow, just wait until you meet the prince. Come with me, good folk, as we witness evil in the